Hi! Happy Wednesday, everyone. Welcome to Get Your Play Online. Let's build. My name is Amanda, and I'm so glad that you're joining me today. Sorry that we're starting a little late, having some technical difficulty getting online, but now that you're with us and I'm online, I'm so glad to have my Wednesday afternoon with you. Today's session for Let's Build with Get Your Play Online, we're going to get ourselves ready for the school year. How many of you out there already began school? And how many of you will begin after Labor Day? Whether you're in school or you're going to be in school after the holiday, I hope you have a wonderful school year. Some of you may be going into school. Some of you may have a different kind of classroom at home. And maybe there's a room or a special area that you have created to keep yourself organized and have that be your study place. Is it at the kitchen table? Is it a corner of a room and you've created your own little school desk to work from when you're at home? Is it in a bedroom, a basement? Wherever it is, today's project will help get you organized. We're going to make desk organizers. What I love about building these desk organizers is you can do it with materials that you already have at home. So it's kind of like a recycled project because we are going to reuse items in different ways. There's a lot of different ways that you can DIY a desk organizer. Today, we are going to use such items as toilet paper rolls, paper towel rolls. If you have an empty can, wash it out and you can use cans. Something that I actually found to be pretty handy was I happened to find an empty medicine bottle with a nice wide opening at the top. So I washed that out and I'm going to use that as well as some little containers as well. Now the materials that we will use today, you can do anything. I have with us today all different color paints, hot glue gun, or regular white glue, but I'm going to use the hot glue gun because I want to put together the project pretty quickly so that way you can see the final project before we finish up today. And plus I also think hot glue holds things much better than white glue and you don't have to wait overnight for it to dry. If you are lucky enough to have a hot glue gun at home, please make sure that you've asked mom and dad or whoever the adult is in your house to either supervise you using it or to please use it when you need to glue something together. Because remember, the name of it is hot glue gun and it gets very hot and I don't want anyone to get hurt when they use it. We're also going to have a container. We're going to put some water in it. Let me go grab my water. I have my water so I can wash my brushes if I choose to use paint. We have something called Podge. This is what the container looks like. You can also make your own Podge by taking white glue and mixing it with water. And it comes out to be a thinner version of your white glue. We use Podge to create something like this, where I took tissue paper and I put the tissue paper on top of my container and then I painted the Podge on top and it glued it to my container. I also have odds and ends of wrapping paper. What I love about using odds and ends of wrapping paper is that when you wrap a gift, there's always that one weird piece that you have left over that's either too small or an odd shape and you just don't know what to do with it. Well, this is a great project that you can use it all up with and you get to recycle and help the earth and create something with it without having to waste anything. Don't forget scissors because we'll need to cut some items. I also have tissue paper of all different colors that we will use, as well as my paint brushes. I have this nice thick ribbon that I'm going to use, but you don't have to if you don't have ribbon. If you have string or yarn, you can use that too. If you have stickers, you can use stickers. You can use crayons, markers, construction paper, however you want to create your desk organizer. The other thing that you're going to need is you're going to need either an empty cereal box or a tissue box or some thin cardboard. I happen to have here an empty tissue box that I unfolded and I'm going to use. And I'll show you what we'll do with that later. The empty tissue box will come in handy because we have our toilet paper rolls and our paper towel rolls, and they don't have bottoms. See, I can see right through it. So we need to create a bottom. So when you put your pens, your pencils, your paper clips, something into the containers to hold, it doesn't fall out. So again, I'm just going to show you one last time what we're going to make. We're going to make a DIY desk organizer. Okay, the first thing that you should do is figure out which containers and toilet paper rolls you want to use and kind of come up with the shape and the design. And when I say the design, I mean, how tall do you want some of your paper towel rolls? Do you want to leave them the height that they are, or should you cut them? If you're going to use a can or a harder container, and you know what else works really well? If any of you like Pringles, or you happen to have a little brother or sister or cousin or somebody who eats those baby puffs in that plastic container, that is great. That's a great container to use as well. And with that, I'd leave the lid on because then you can close the lid and use it for something, I don't know, but that's a great container to use. But I would use a more sturdy container and then kind of build around that sturdy container to attach all of your other compartments for your desk organizer. So I'm just going to take my containers and I'm going to kind of create a shape that I think I want. Not 100% sure, but I think I want. So the sturdy one that I'm going to use is going to be my can. This was a can of black beans, but now it's empty and clean. And this is going to hold, I don't know, maybe it'll hold some pens or some pencils for me. But that's going to go in the center. And then maybe I'll do some small containers around the front. Or do I want some small ones around my toilet paper rolls? I don't know. I think, though, these may be all of the ones that I'm going to use. So I'm going to take a mental picture of what I just did. Let's see. All right. And now we're going to get to the creating part of it. So I have my nice sturdy can. And before we started, I actually took paint and I painted my can. And the reason that I painted my can ahead of time was because I wanted it to be dry so I could show you some of the other steps. But all you have to do with your nice sturdy can is very easy. Just take your paint, put it on your paintbrush, and you just slather it right on. Okay. So I did 3 colors previously. I used pink, blue, and purple. I don't know if that's going to be the colors that I want everything to be, but that just happened to be the 3 colors that I chose for that specific can. I'm going to take a paper towel. Nope, I'm going to take a little toilet paper roll. And I think I want to put some paint on this one. So let's see. I have this awesome bright green. I think I'm just going to make it green all over. And I'm just going to put the paint all over my toilet paper roll. And if you want to add multiple colors, you can, but just remember you may have to have your paper towel rolls, your containers dry in between all of the paint. Okay, so I've painted one of my containers green. Alrighty, I have some paper towels that I'm going to grab so I can wipe my hands off. I find that it's really great to have paper towels or even baby wipes with you, so then you can kind of clean off whatever you're working on, whatever space, as well as your hands in between the process. Okay, I'm going to move my paper towel over, or I'm sorry, my toilet paper roll over so it can dry. I also, again, happen to paint a few toilet paper rolls and paper towel rolls ahead of time. And then they're dry and I'll be able to use them a little later. But let me show you, if you wanted to use a paper towel roll and you didn't want it to be as tall as it is, all you have to do is just squeeze the paper towel roll, take your scissors, and you're just going to cut around the paper towel roll, and there. Now I have the exact height that I want for both of them. Okay. And with these two paper towel rolls, I think I'm going to wrap one in wrapping paper. Okay. Let me move all of my excess. And I'm going to pick something fun. I have this polka dot wrapping paper. And I'm going to use the polka dot wrapping paper for this larger paper towel roll. And I'm first going to lie it down on the paper towel to see just how much of it I need. And look, it doesn't hang over that much. So let me see if I roll it up. And then yep, okay. So on this wrapping paper, there's a line, and I'm just going to cut this bottom line off to make it a little shorter. And that's one of the great things about wrapping paper is a lot of wrapping paper nowadays have these lines. So you can cut nice straight lines. And then you don't need a ruler. Okay. So I had talked about using something called Podge. Do you remember in the very beginning when I told you about all my materials, I said there's something called Podge. You can make it or you can buy it. If you make it, again, it's just water and white glue. I'm going to take a paintbrush. You get a larger paintbrush. Okay. I'm just going to wet it in case the bristles were a little hard. And I'm going to dip my Podge, or my brush in my Podge. And now I'm just going to paint it right on to my wrapping paper. You can either paint your Podge onto your wrapping paper, or you can put it directly onto the paper towel roll. I'm going to line up my paper towel roll to the bottom of the roll, and I'm going to roll and smooth, roll and smooth that paper towel roll onto the wrapping paper. Now, we have this flap here. We need to seal it. So we're going to, again, dunk that paintbrush into the Mod Podge. And I'm just going to seal it up. Okay. I'm going to smooth it out. And now I'm going to take this excess that I have. I'm going to take my scissors, see where there's excess, and I'm just going to, actually, instead of cutting it, I'm going to push it down into my roll. So see, I've pushed it down. Good. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my paintbrush with the Mod Podge, and I am just going to paint right over those edges to kind of seal that wrapping paper down so it doesn't pop up. If you want to cut the excess off, you can, but you don't have to. Again, this is your project. You create and build it however you want. If you want to use milk jugs, you want to use a box, whatever you want, you create it however you want it to be. Okay, we're going to Mod Podge again. But this time I'm going to show you how to use the tissue paper. I'm going to take one of the small containers, one of these plastic containers that I have, and I'm going to use that. I'm going to take my tissue paper. I'm going to just rip off a hunk of tissue paper, and I'm going to tear just like this. Doesn't matter the shape, the size, at all. Then going to take my paintbrush, put again the Mod Podge, and you're just going to paint your container all over with the Mod Podge, and then you take that tissue paper and you place it right on top. Take another piece, layer it right on top. Take another piece, layer it right on top. And you want to continue this all the way around until your bottle is, or your container, or your can is completely filled with tissue paper. Then you need to take that Mod Podge, and we are going to put Mod Podge right on top, and you're just going to paint right on top, pressing down all of the corners and making sure that the tissue paper is pressed down and sealed onto your medicine container. So there. And when it's all dried, it's going to look like this. Now, you can also do this on a paper towel roll. I Mod Podge on the paper towel roll, as well as on a plastic container. So when it dries, this is what it looks like. And you can use, again, you can use wrapping paper, newspaper, tissue paper for Mod Podge, just about anything, any light kind of paper material. Right, let's clean up this. We're gonna move some excess stuff that we are not using. And now I'm going to show you how to build the bottoms of your containers. So what you want to do And I should have stated this in the beginning, before I painted my green paper towel roll. You can cut out circles to create bottoms of your paper towel rolls before you start coloring them, painting them, Mod Podging, or you can wait until it's completely dry. All you have to do is take a pen or a pencil, and you're going to trace the circle of your paper towel roll, or what I found to be really helpful was I actually took my paper towel roll, I painted the bottom of it, and then I made circles right onto the cardboard that I was using. So see how I'm taking the paper towel roll or the toilet paper roll and I'm just painting the bottom? So now I have the circle, and I would probably, if you're going to use the paint method, do this before you paint or craft the rolls that you're going to use, because you need some time to let them dry. Okay, so I have my circles. Just like that. And now I have to let them dry. But what do you know? I already have some dried circles. So that's what they look like. And now I'm going to cut them out. And this is the part that, again, if you have a hot glue gun, please be sure that you have supervision when you use, or ask an adult to use the hot glue gun and glue everything together for you. It is so important that you are careful when you use a hot glue gun and you have somebody who knows how to use it help you. So I'm going to take that circle that I just cut out, and I'm going to take my toilet paper roll, and I'm going to put hot glue around the circle. This is, again, what's going to form the bottom of our container. So see how I'm just gluing all around the sides? Now this is a little tricky because it's hot. Then I take my toilet paper roll and I line it up on the bottom, press it down, and look, I've created a bottom for the paper towel and the toilet paper roll. Now if you notice that there's any kind of gaps and openings, then you fill them in by just taking that hot glue gun and once more going around. Good. Okay. Putting this aside, and I'm going to let it dry. Now I made mention that I had ribbon. I'm going to put ribbon around my toilet paper roll. I just want to make it look finished, more polished. I'm going to measure it by just taking that ribbon around the top, and then I'm going to cut right where I know it needs to be cut. And again, using the hot glue gun, make sure you have supervision or an adult to do this. You're going to place glue towards the top of that paper towel roll. And this is hot, so be careful. You're going to place your ribbon down and keep a thumb on it so it doesn't slide, and you're just going to wrap the rest of the ribbon around until it meets the other side. Now see, it meets the other side, and now I'm just going to put a little dot of glue to close off that ribbon. Just like that. Alrighty. So that's what the tube with the ribbon looks like. I think I want to put some ribbon on this one as well. So I'm going to do the same thing. And again, you can use this with twine, string, anything that you have. The last step that we have is going to be the building of and putting together our desk organizer. So now that I have all of the pieces created that I want to use, I think I have a better idea of the shape and how I want to place all of my containers. So I'm going to move everything. Grab another stick of glue. And I'm going to now put my containers in an order. Again, you want to start with a stable, strong, sturdy container. So I have my can. Then I'm going to line up my paper towel and my medicine container, and my toilet paper roll, and my other toilet paper roll. Okay. And I think I want to add this one small container. And before I add it, I'm just going to quickly put a piece of ribbon. Hi, Sky. How are you? I happen to have a helper down here who wants to do the project with me because she being my niece, has virtual school this year. And Sky, do you have a special place that you're going to be doing your homework?
Yes. Mom made like a little thing.
So you have a special desk that you'll be using?
Special desk.
That is wonderful.
What's that orange thing?
Hey, why don't you come on this side of me? Come on this side of me.
What's that orange thing?
That is a container. Hold on one second. So now I'm going to wrap my ribbon around. And then I'm going to glue it down, again, with just a spot of glue. I'm going to close it off, and there. Now it is time for me to finish building and glue all of the containers together.
What is it?
It's a desk organizer. This is what's going to help you keep your desk organized. We have the can. The can is the center part. I'm going to take my hot glue, see, just like this, and I'm going to put a line of glue.
Can I put it on?
You want to put the paper towel roll on, or would you like to glue? Can you press this down and make a line of glue on my can? Press really hard.
Can you do it?
Yep. See, this is why it's nice to have some adult supervision. So you're just going to make a line.
Can I put the...
Come back on this side, sweetie. Okay, you're going to make a line. And now where that line of glue is, can you take this piece of toilet paper roll and press it really hard? Let's line it up. So you want to line it up so the bottom is lined up with the other bottom. Good, good, good. And press. Good job. Okay. So there we have our first one glued together. Next,
Which one are we doing next?
next, we are going to do our green one. You hold that for me.
Okay.
I'm going to put the glue. Now for this, I'm going to glue.
The paint is still wet.
That's okay. It's okay if the paint is still wet. It'll dry. Glued the second one. I'm going to have you, again, line up the bottle, and you want to get it as close to the small one as you can. Good job. And now we have our second one. But I want to make sure that it's also attached to the other one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my hot glue gun, and I'm just going to put a little bit of glue right in between, and then I'm going to smush the toilet paper rolls together. And I'm going to hold them there. Okay. Alrighty. And we have another one. So now we have our big container, 2 little ones. Next, I'm going to take my big plastic container. I'm going to put it against the can, and I'm going to put glue on this toilet paper roll as well as the can.
Okay.
Alrighty, now we have glue on the can and on the toilet paper roll, and now we're going to press that medicine bottle. Good. And is it lined up? Are they all lined up so they stand nice and even? Okay, there you go.
Wait, these are medicine bottles?
Alrighty. And then we have our large toilet paper roll that we wrapped in wrapping paper. Alright, we're going to put it right here, Miss Sky.
Okay.
So I'm going to put, again, a line of glue right there and a line of glue right there. And then we're going to put it together. Okay, are you ready? Okay, line it up and push it in. Great job. Thank you. Okay. Do you know what we forgot to do, everyone? Look, we have a hole on the bottom of the paper towel roll because I was silly enough to forget to put the bottom of the paper towel roll together. So, Miss Sky, can you please cut out one of these circles?
Okay.
Thank you. And that's okay if you forget, because guess what? You may decide that you don't want to put a bottom on, or you may decide that you need them all to be covered. But I'm happy that I did this because now I can show you how to add it on after you've already put everything together. All right, so we're going to do the same exact thing. It's been cut out. I'm going to take my hot glue. I'm going to put it all around. Oh, wait, I need to get a new glue stick. That's the one thing with the hot glue gun, is that you can go through glue sticks pretty quickly. Alrighty. So we are going to just put that glue all around, just like that. I'm then going to do the same thing. I'm going to line it up, press it down on the bottom, and voila! We have a bottom for all of our containers. We have one more little container left, and we're going to put that right in front. All right, Miss Sky, are you ready to know?
We got a little bit of hot glue right there.
Okay, let's put it down. All right. And there, you have just built a desk organizer to keep you organized for the 2020-2021 school year. So whether you are learning from home or in person at school, stay organized with your new desk organizer. Remember, with this project, it's up to you how you want to build it. Do you want to use toilet paper rolls, paper towel rolls, cans, empty boxes? You can use anything you want. You can also paint them, Mod Podge them. You can wrap them in string. You can wrap them in wrapping paper like we did, however you want, because it's your project. Now what we did today with ours, we used a can that was painted. We used some plastic containers, our little one and our larger one, and we Mod Podge them along with this paper towel roll. And remember, the Mod Podge came in this container, but you can also make your own Mod Podge by just mixing water and white glue. And I'm sorry that I don't have a recipe for it, but I will look up the recipe and I'll attach it in the comment section of today's Facebook Live post. So if you are interested in how to make Mod Podge, I'll make sure that I post it in the comments. We also took some wrapping paper and we used the Mod Podge on the wrapping paper, and then we wrapped that paper towel roll and we painted our can. We used hot glue to glue them all together, and we used that empty tissue box to create bottoms for each of our paper towel and toilet paper rolls that didn't have a bottom already. And there you go. Once again, thank you for joining me. My name is Amanda. I loved having you build with me in today's session of Let's Build. Don't forget to check out the rest of Get Your Play Online's activities for the week. Thank you so much. Have yourself a wonderful rest of the day and have a fantastic school year. Wishing you all the best. Take care. Bye-bye.